Hey guys, Eric with you today from Fire and Ice Outdoors, doing a little broadhead test here in the backyard. I've got a little range set up here of a 50-yard range. I've also got a deer stand. If you look up over my shoulder over here in the trees, I've got a deer stand set up there that I can practice my shooting at. I live in a subdivision, got woods in my back. There is property. I have to pay attention to who's back there for that, but for the most part, I can basically shoot wherever I want, whenever I want. Luckily, I've also got a neighbor who's an archer, so he gets to shoot in my range, and I get to use his yard and my yard, and so we got a really nice setup here. What I'm going to be doing today is this: I've seen the water jug tests and all that stuff with the milk jugs, and how fast does water get out of let out of the jug depending on what broadhead you use. Well, today I'm going to be using 3 different broadheads. I've got a 2-blade Rage here that's going to be the deployable type of mechanical broadhead, and I believe these are the 2-inch cut. I'm also shooting the same arrows. I've got the Crush arrows, Carbon Express 250s that match my bow. They're 29 inches long, I believe, and I can't remember the actual grainage of the arrows. I'm thinking 7.5 or 8 grains per inch. So these are going to be pretty standard across the board. I'm also shooting a 100 grain arrowhead. Then I'm going to be going to the 4-blade Muzzy, and it's again a 100 grain arrowhead, same arrow. And then the third one I'm going to be using is Flying Arrow's Toxic arrowhead that has got a little bit different design for it. I don't know if you can see that straight on like that, but it's got 3 basically holes that it cuts, and it's got a 7/8 inch cutting diameter, but they've also got, if you take the total surface area, it's about a 5-inch cut. So I'll be using those. I want a disclaimer here real quick for you, just so you know. This is an independent test. I'm not sponsored by any of them. I have nothing to gain by saying one's better than the other. I know which arrowhead I'm probably going to use this year, and I'll share that with you at the end of this. The other thing that I'm going to be telling you a little bit is also my bow that I'm shooting right now is my PSE Pro Series X-Force Vendetta. I did pick this up at the headquarters last year. I was out there with my daughter at a class. Again, not sponsored by PSE. Love their products. They've come a long way. Matter of fact, they've revolutionized the industry with their X-Force technology. All the major manufacturers today now have the same basic type of technology that they came up with a few years ago. So I've got that. I got my Toxonics sights. I got a VibraCheck stabilizer. That's also a PSE product from what I understand. The bow is a 28-inch draw bow I've got set at right now, and it is at 63 pounds. I've got the 60-pound limbs, but I've got it set at 63. It's maxed out. I've also got a nice drop-away rest by DOA, which I really like, and be using that today also. The one thing I do like about the PSE bows, while I'm on this real quick, is I like the ability to change everything I need to change right here on one cam. I don't have to buy cam modules. I don't have to buy a different cam. I don't have to take it to the pro shop to change it. It's a couple of set screws basically, and I can change my draw length right there. And it basically, you just match up the letter that you want to shoot with the letter that you want to shoot with on the inside here, and as long as those are matched up, everything's set perfectly. So it's a great bow, got a great bowstring. It's a professional grade bowstring, so it's not going to get a lot of stretch, and we're going to see how it shoots. Again, 63 is what I get pound wise, and I'm only shooting at about 270 feet per second. I'm not a big 300 guy. You don't have to have that. But for the test today, we're going to be shooting about 265 is actually the number that I'm shooting. So 265 feet per second on my arrow that I have here. 3 different broadheads. We're going to be shooting pumpkins, and let's see what happens. All right, first up is going to be the Rage broadhead, the 2-blade expandable. And we're shooting at a rather large pumpkin that I've got on camera on the other end. So let me move some things around here so I don't trip over something. And let's see what happens. 20 yards. Rage broadhead. Test number 2 is going to be a Muzzy 4-blade. I've got a Muzzy 3-blade too, but I figured the 4-blade will give a good demonstration of what it can do. Muzzy 4-blade versus the Pumpkin Pie Pumpkin at 20 yards. Okay, that one went off a little bit, but Yeah, it went off a little bit, but it still made a good hit. And arrow number 3 is going to be my flying arrow archery toxic broadhead. Again, versus the pumpkin pie pumpkin. So we'll see what we get going here. Try him a little higher on this one. Okay, that's all 3 of them. We'll check on them here in just a second. We're going to go over the arrows right now and look at the pumpkins. They didn't blow up or anything. I wasn't sure what to expect with them. This is going to be shooting the Rage 2-blade. That's the mechanical, and I believe it gives you about 2 inches of cutting surface. I shot a little low, so I don't know if you can see it or not, but right here is the entrance wound that we had. Went right in there. You can see it's a small wound, it's not a huge wound, and the exit wound did go all the way through. A little bit larger on the backside coming through. I've got a little bit of a cutting surface right here, kind of to this point right here, to that point. A little bit of a hole, but not much. So if you look right here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's right there. So that was shot number 1. A little low, but still penetrated through and through on the pumpkin. Second shot was also a little low. I've never shot pumpkins before, so I wasn't sure where the kill zone on them was. I shot this with a Muzzy 4-blade, and it went in about right there, as you could see. Don't know if you can see the entrance hole, but it's got some pretty good damage around it. Good cut, good swath of entry, and then the exit portion of it was going to be down a little bit lower. A little bit of a hole coming out. A bigger hole actually than what the Rage made, but there's definitely a exit hole there, about the diameter of the arrow shaft. Everything else is cut marks, but there's actually an arrow shaft diameter hole right there. So it's not huge, but it's right there. I don't know if you can see it very well, but right there. And then arrow number 3 is going to be my flying arrow toxic. And here's the front end of it. And I don't know if you can see it right here or not, but it cuts a perfect little wound channel right there. Wait for a little closer we can see it. So there's the wound channel that you can see right there. Arrow went in something along that lines. Actually, it went in something about like that probably. Made a nice cut, and then the exit hole is down here at the bottom. And again, it made a really nice large exit hole. So it's right there. That is a pretty good sized exit hole. So it had a good entry and a good exit hole. I've seen the, like I said, the water jug test where you hit a water jug, lots of water pours out. We don't hunt water jugs. I've also seen the test where they've, you know, shot a turkey breast, and yeah, it made a hole in it. So I've seen that. Now we've got a pumpkin you've got online here to look at. I guess what I'm trying to say is this: is you got to find something that you like. If you like that Rage 2-blade, that's great. If you like a Muzzy 4, shoot it. If you like something different, go for it. I'm going to be shooting this year the toxic from Flying Arrow Archery, just because it's something different and I want to try it out. What I like about this personally is the cutting channel. When you've got a 5-inch diameter, if you take the entire cutting surface of this broadhead right there, it totals 5 inches. It's a 7/8 inch total diameter surface, but if you take the whole area of every blade that cuts on this arrowhead, you got 5 inches. Now, I know some states require a 1-inch cutting surface and that sort of a thing. I'm not sure how that's going to work out for you. I can use this here where I'm at, and this is going to be my arrowhead of choice. Going to post this up on our YouTube channel, which you have found, obviously, if you're watching this. Like us on Facebook at fireniced.com is also our website. You can get to our Twitter feed, and you can also get to our Facebook page from fireniced.com. There's links at the bottom. I'd really appreciate you following us, like us here on YouTube, and follow us here. Again, I don't have any sponsorships in any of this. This is just my own opinion. And the nicest cutting surface was with this arrowhead right here. All right, guys, be safe. We'll see you in the outdoors, and